Every single week that we are doing draft coverage, I kick it off from the side of the draft right on this program with my own mock draft, just the first 10 picks of the draft.
Okay.
And, it's time to do that.
Yes.
And, the interesting part of it this time around is I don't feel the need to be as aggressive as I usually am, because I think the world of mock drafts, everybody it's like opinions now, and like everyone has one.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I first started doing it, fewer people had them, which led to more arguments or people pushing back. I don't know what I'm talking about, that sort of thing. That was also back then when I was on Twitter, because it was a nicer place, and also on top of it, I was reading comments. And so we call it every single year, come at me mock draft. Like, again, that's the New Yorker in me, a little aggressive. Here we are in the nice Midwest. I'm not being that aggressive here. Come at me mock draft, presented by Spectrum. It's time for me to do that right now.
Let's go.
And we kick it off before I even say a pick to talk about what to expect on Thursday night, because I have a feeling it's going to be quite chalky to start, meaning that it's not going to be anything surprising to start. And then I heard Ryan Poles, the general manager of the Chicago Bears, holder of the 10th overall pick and the first round draft choice whenever it is selected, to elicit, no doubt, the loudest boos of the 2025 NFL draft, because it's being made in the home of the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
That said, that's the one thing you can say about the Chicago Bears pick, is it will be booed. Everything else we have no idea about or when it's going to take place.
Thank you.
Especially since Ryan Poles had this to say about this year's NFL draft.
With the draft, I'm going to give the opportunity for Ian to come up and talk about our preparation. Feel really confident where we're at. I think this one's going to be a little wild, but we're going to be prepared for all the different scenarios that pop up.
What makes you say that about it? You think this draft in particular is going to be wild? What specifically are you thinking of when you say that?
Yeah, I think it's deeper in certain areas than others. Usually the cutoff is a little bit quicker. I think once you kind of get into 2, 3, and this one's going to be a little bit different. So I think there's going to be a lot more movement than there has been in the past.
A lot more movement, and I don't think if there's going to be movement, it's going to be top 5. It might be the next 5.
Okay.
And I thought really long and hard about it.
Okay.
I don't have a trade in my top 10 of my come at me mock draft.
That's not fun.
I understand that. I get it.
You didn't want the Bears moving up to 4? I'm just saying.
Okay, Chris, just because you hope that the Bears will take whatever Wisconsin cheese the Patriots might put out there to improve your draft, I don't expect it. But that said, it's now time for my 2025 come at me mock draft. Presented by Spectrum. Here we go. I need the music. I need the NFL Films music to just get me started. And obviously, we all know who's the first overall pick in this draft. We know it is going to be a stick and pick by the Tennessee Titans. Pretty much Mike Bergonzi, the general manager of the Titans, has come out and said so. Every single information man and woman that covers the NFL draft in the NFL says the Titans are going to stick and pick. And we know it's going to be Cam Ward, the quarterback out of the U. He is number 1 in the University of Miami program, also last year number 1 in their hearts. And the guy from Incarnate Word in Washington State and the U is going to have a journey to the first guy out of the green room to be journeying to the commissioner. He's going to be the first overall pick in this draft, which leads me to number 2 overall. I think in many ways he should be number 1 overall. I've never seen anybody like him come out of college and be presented to the National Football League in a draft. It's Travis Hunter. You get 2 players in one. I don't think Andrew Berry was overstating it when he compared this kid to Ohtani, and the fact that when you get one guy who plays two positions and does two things extremely well when he's doing them, that sounds like Ohtani to me. We'll see how he can actually be a home run hitter figuratively in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns, who will be over the moon to add Travis Hunter to a secondary with Denzel Ward and a wide receiver room with Jerry Jeudy. Had a breakout season last year with a revolving door at quarterback. Number 3, the Giants are sitting there. I think they are not going to go Shedeur Sanders here. I think it's too high for them to be taking Shedeur. Potentially, do they trade back in at the end of the first round to go get a quarterback? I think that that's possible. Mike Mayock on the show earlier this week when he was doing his Mike Mayock draft thinks that the Giants will trade back in at 24th overall to take Jackson Dart. Shedeur, I'll do my best to peg where he lands later on in this segment, but it's Abdul Carter going to the New York Giants, one of the best to come out of the world of Penn State football. I think Abdul Carter goes to the NFC East. And, hey, listen, you got your Micah. Dallas is going to pay him. We all know it. I just have no idea when they're going to pay him. But
I got to boo Abdul now.
Abdul Carter,
got to boo this man.
Your Mr. Penn State Nittany Lion is going to be a New York Giant. Number 4, this is where the rubber begins to meet the road. I know, Chris, you want to hear Ashton Genty's name out of the New England.
Ashton Genty or a trade, just something.
I am hearing
something fun.
They are going to do nothing but stick and pick Will Campbell out of LSU to protect their diamond in the rough quarterback in his second year, and Drake May is going to have a much better game plan behind him this year than last year. We saw what Josh McDaniels was able to do with Mac Jones in Mac Jones' first year, and then the fall off after McDaniels left.
Brutal.
McDaniels is coming in. Just give Drake May a second to breathe more, and this kid, I think, is going to be the sensible pick for the New England Patriots, 4th overall. Now is where the rubber begins to meet the road for real. The Jacksonville Jaguars pick at 5. Mason Graham has been essentially sharpied in. My guy from the University of Michigan, I love this kid. He is absolutely the best defensive tackle in this year's draft. I saw this kid play. He is amazing. That said, the Jacksonville Jaguars hired a coach on the offensive side of the football. I think Liam Cohen's going to walk into that draft room in Duval and take Ashton Genty.
Yo, Rich Eisen.
That's what I think is going to happen.
He's now the betting favorite to go 5th overall.
I understand, and I know what this might mean for Mr. ETN there and Tank Bigsby, but he's too good to pass up.
Yeah, I think so.
For a guy who is at the forefront in many people's minds in this industry at devising offenses in the NFL. And I think Genty's going to be too tough to pass up. That means the Raiders are now going to be like, okay, what do we do?
The Raiders.
Because everybody put Ashton Genty in the silver and black in Vegas. He's gone. Now, if that happens, this now leads the Raiders to sit there and go, do we take the quarterback? Shedeur's sitting right there. Do we go ahead and take maybe an offensive lineman, Armand Membu, who is there, sitting there after now Will Campbell's done? What do the Raiders do? And I sit here and I think to myself, Pete Carroll is the king of pass rush. He's the king of just amassing pass rushers. Remember his old NASCAR package in Seattle where they would just trade in one? They bring in one lineman after another after another.
Michael Bennett.
I think Jalen Walker's too good to pass up, and I think he goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, the silver and black. And I think Jalen Walker, who Mike Mayock has a higher grade on at this position than he has on Abdul Carter. I think the Raiders consider this too tough to pass up, which means the Jets now sit there at 7. They passed on Brock Bowers last year. They got Tyler Warren sitting here right now. We saw Brock Bowers, what he did in Vegas last year with an absolute, what would we call it? Super fun side at the quarterback position.
That's a nice way to put it.
And instead of giving Aaron Rodgers Brock Bowers last year, they could now give Justin Fields Tyler Warren, which would make me very excited, which means the Jets aren't going to do it. They're going to do what the Patriots did, and they're going to go sensible, and they're going to take Armand Membu and keep hammering this line. Again, if you think what Aaron Glenn saw in Detroit is something that he wants to bring to the Jets, he is going to hit the line, and he's going to hit it hard, and he's going to get that line going and get Breece Hall running, and he's going to want this for his team. And I think this kid, Armand Membu, is going to be a New York Jet as they keep building the line. And 8th overall, everybody had Jalen Walker going to the Panthers, but he's gone. Everyone had Mason Graham going to the Jaguars. He's still sitting there, which means he's a Carolina Panther 8th overall. I'm going to go with Mason Graham here. 8th overall, and he's added to Carolina. Now the Saints sit here at 9. Do they take Shedeur Sanders? Do they go ahead and say, okay, Derek Carr might be out for the season. I think he's out for the season. Spencer Rattler, we got a good look-see at him. I don't know. Kellen Moore's pounding the table for Shedeur, and instead they're going to go and say, where's Marshawn Lattimore? He's not here anymore. Jahdae Barron's going to be a New Orleans Saint. I'm going to go with this kid from Texas. The top corner off the board goes to New Orleans, 9th overall, which means the Bears stick and pick at 10, and they're the ones who take Tyler Warren and bring him to the NFC North, and they will add him to the mix on offense, and Ben Johnson's going to have 2 tight ends in Cole Kmet and Tyler Warren, and they're going to have this entire offense with Caleb Williams all set with young studs for a long time to come, and everybody in Green Bay is going to boo the heck out of Tyler Warren.
Poor guy. It's not his fault.
And that's my top 10 come at me mock draft right here. Oh, wait a minute.
All right, we'll get one
Normally I don't do one more.
One more.
But it has been suggested by Smitch to give everyone an idea, where do I think Shedeur lands? And I think just one more in my come at me mock draft, I think Shedeur lands with the Steelers 21st overall.
You do.
I think that when it all is said and done on Thursday night, this kid's going to be sitting at the crib with Prime for 20 picks. It's going to be a long night, but we're going to add him to the AFC North, and the Steelers are going to take him, and they're going to sit him, and maybe Aaron Rodgers signs, and Dion's kid is going to be coached up by Aaron Rodgers, or at least Aaron Rodgers is going to be in the same quarterback room as him, and they're going to have Mason Rudolph there as well. And you heard Jerry Dulac say 2 veterans and a kid. Well, the 2 veterans are going to be Aaron Rodgers, and it's going to be Mason Rudolph, and the kid's going to be Shedeur Sanders. And can you imagine Shedeur versus Lamar twice a year, Shedeur versus Joe Burrow twice a year? It's going to be a tall order for him. We'll see who the Browns take potentially in this first round. Do they trade back in? Don't know. Do they take a kid out of this draft, top of the second round? They do currently own the first pick of Friday night. We shall see. That is my come at me mock draft 2025.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.